Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over how to become a smarter Fortnite player. We're going to be breaking down a gameplay today that I think will really highlight at multiple points a lot of the little things that may not really stand out and be super flashy, but are so important to being successful in game. This is pretty much a solo squads gameplay. I accidentally queued up into a squad fill game, and all of my teammates end up dying within like the first 2 minutes of the match. And trust me, with how many 1v3s and 1v4s you're going to face in an average solo squads game, you're probably going to need to play incredibly smart to even hold your own. And I'll always agree with the opinion that probably the easiest way to become a smarter Fortnite player is to literally watch videos like this. If you watch a super fast builder, yeah, sure, you may pick up some tips and techniques, but since building is mostly mechanical in nature, it really comes down to how much you personally practice. Same thing with aim. You can watch NickMercs or any other player with just incredible aim for 50 hours straight, but that isn't going to help you move your thumbsticks any more precisely. So that's why I just really enjoy doing videos like this, because I truly believe it helps you guys out a lot. So without further ado, let's get right into this gameplay breakdown. Alright guys, so we're basically hopping into one of the craziest fights in the entire video. You're going to see how many people I run into here. We're going to start off by just shooting at this guy, and I think I'm going to be able to get high ground on him, but this other guy pushes me, and I make a good positioning-esque play here. You basically got to pick one guy in that situation. If I had just sat on that high ground and tried to fight both people from the same position, I would have basically ended up getting sandwiched by every single person in this area. And it's not just one or two guys. I think it ends up being about 4 or 5 different people on maybe 3 or 4 different teams. So it's crazy. I had to pick one, and I ended up making the right decision, which allowed me to take cover and heal up for a little inside of this building. Now, as you're going to see here, I'm still getting shot by like 3 different directions at this point. There's zombies everywhere. It's just total chaos everywhere you look. So I make a smart play here, and I'm basically trying to get some shots off while keeping high ground this entire time. And I end up pyramiding this guy here. I don't have a trap, so I can't get the trap kill, but I take the opportunity to get to a nice point of natural high ground here, so I can basically control the rest of the fight from this position. Now you're going to see this skeleton guy tries to rocket me while jumping off, and it actually ends up getting himself knocked out by a fall. Now what I'm trying to do here is basically finish him, because if you don't know, if he ends up bleeding out or somebody else kills his teammate, I won't get credit for the kill. But since I finished him while he's down, I do end up getting credit for that kill, which is awesome because we're going for a high kill game here and every kill counts. We make a good positioning play there, and I believe I actually pick up another free kill from a guy that I didn't down simply because the person that downed him left the game. This next little single kill here, this guy heard me and I heard him, so what you're going to see is I'm going to get on this roof because I'm expecting him to be waiting for me, and that's exactly what he's doing. He was 3Ping around that wall trying to left-hand peek me, but I made a smart play, out-positioned him, and it ended up getting me a really easy kill. Next fight, I believe, is like a 1v2 or 1v3 here. Bit of an awkward fight because I start with a position of super low ground here. This guy sees me, but I do a really good job of being accurate with my shots, and that's something people are really scared to do in general with Fortnite for some reason. They don't like fighting from low ground, and obviously fighting from high ground is always going to be better, but you're going to have a lot of opportunity to get off some nice chip damage or even a down like you saw there a few seconds ago simply by firing from low ground, because people in general just don't expect it. Right there, you're going to see that another guy sees me and is shooting at me, so I want to beat him to high ground here with the grappler. Unfortunately, this tree doesn't cooperate until about 3 grapples later, so because of that, we basically end up getting onto the mountain at the exact same time, and he starts the fight off by just absolutely cracking me with his AR. Bit of sloppy building here, but I guess it gets the job done because I'm able to heal up and then start ramping up to establish high ground. You're going to see I basically end up building over him and make some nice edit plays here. Mentioned that in a previous video, being unpredictable. After I did that first floor edit, he was probably expecting me to edit the same spot again, but I went to a different floor and he tries to make a grapple play to get away, and it does not end up being very successful for him as I end up finishing up that entire entire fight right there. This next guy, I guess, is straight out of, what movie is that? Up or whatever. He tries to fly to the sky with those balloons, and it does not work out very well for Skeletal Dwarf, I can tell you that much. This next guy actually here shooting at the zombies. So first, I want to get as much extra little health there as possible. I get to 199, and I know that since I hear this guy fighting zombies, I can basically just dive bomb directly on him with absolutely no chance of him hearing me, and that's exactly what happens. That guy probably had about 1,000,000 decibels of sound going into both of his ears from those zombies, so it ended up being an easy kill. And same thing here, I land on these guys again because I know the zombies are so loud they're not going to hear my glider. And I believe that this gameplay was even after the patch that increased the noise of the glider when you redeployed, so as you can tell, even though it's definitely a little louder now, the zombie sound definitely overrules it. These guys right here are a little bit annoying even though they're not building at all because they're making pretty smart plays and shooting me from a bunch of different angles. I want to make sure and finish this guy up before I get out of the storm, and I'm able to do that. I'm being shot from a few different directions here, so I basically just want to get out as soon as possible so I don't lose a ton of health and leave myself vulnerable. And again, I'm going to make a pretty smart play here once I take this slurp juice. Who would ever expect me to land inside of a tree? These guys would probably expect me to go on the mountain, which is unfortunately in the zone, so I settle for the tree and absolutely laser the last teammate there. So what could have been a pretty scary fight dealing with multiple teammates shooting at me from a bunch of different angles, and especially as the storm was coming in with not too much healing, ended up being a pretty easy fight because I played it pretty smart. This next team here is only 2 guys, even though it seems like much more when I'm shooting at all of them. It seems like I'm shooting at about 100 guys, but I guess that's because some of them are actually zombies, and you're gonna see they're trying to lay back and shoot me from a very far away position, and obviously I don't want to do that since they have multiple team members. They have an advantage in long range fights. I want to get right into their face, I want to get to high ground, and I want to kind of engage the fight on my terms the entire time. I almost downed that guy, but he gets away with about 20 health because I thought his other teammate was pushing behind me. I make sure to basically push him from high ground and prevent him from getting on top of me, which would have turned the fight in their favor. I catch this guy trying to heal up because I heard him drinking whatever shield that was. This next guy, shoot him out as he tries to get high ground. He doesn't expect me to actually jump down and challenge him from the ground, so that ended up being a nice little element of surprise that ended up winning me that 1v2, and I don't believe I took any damage from that entire fight. Maybe a little though. This next fight is really interesting because the rest of the teams other than this solo, which I actually end up making really quick work of here, are all camping on mountains in 1x1 boxes. So I basically want to get rid of all of the solo guys at first so they don't third party me, and then I'm going to begin to engage the teams that are camping and apparently playing very, very hard for this win. And I think that generally is the right way to go about it, because if you're a solo player going against teams of 2 and 3 and maybe even 4, especially teams that are already on a point of super high natural high ground with a 1x1 build, and you engage that team, you're already at a huge disadvantage. And if you add a solo third partier into that mix, it's going to be a fight that you're very rarely going to be able to win. So I took out the solo, and now I'm going to attack this team. Luckily, I ramp rushed and then used the grappler before they could really hear me and prepare for me, so I got that extra little element of surprise, which is so important to being a smart Fortnite player. I'm not able to hit many shots here, but luckily I'm able to do just enough damage to down the first guy. This second guy apparently doesn't want to use the 1x1 to his advantage, so he hops onto the ground, and that ended up being just a very easy kill and very easy 2v1 team wipe there. So we're finally moving into the final fight of the video, and it's a bit of a confusing one, so pay attention. I end up downing one player, downing a second, and then downing and eliminating a third player. And since I picked up eliminations there, I thought all 3 of them were on the same team, even though rewatching it, even though I didn't see it at first, those first 2 guys were shooting at each other because they were on opposite teams. So I actually thought I was in a 1v1 situation here, even though it's technically a 2v1, but not really, because one of the 2 remaining enemies are actually downed on the ground right in front of me because I just downed them, so there is only one up player right now and one sitting on the ground currently. And I recognize this guy building ramps right here, so obviously this is the last player. Right here I end up killing the down guy, and at that moment I had realization realization, oh, I guess that guy wasn't on the same team as the other two guys I knocked out. And right here, I'm just trying to have a little fun with this guy because obviously he doesn't seem like the most skilled player in the world. So I actually end up pickaxing him to death and pick up the 25 kill, pretty much solo squad victory there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. What is your favorite weapon to use in Fortnite? Are you a SCAR guy, a pump shotgun guy, a rocket launcher guy? Be sure to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.